whether Facebook, Twitter, or the True. Make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like.
Okay, so
Oh, wait, that was the intro? Okay, well, okay, let's get this new video started then, I guess.
this is gonna be a short video.
Not over here. We like these videos in my neighborhood to be a little bit long, like my depression.
Kind of bit of a down tone for this video, to be honest with you. Now, quite a few people have been hitting me up. When am I going to talk about Fire Force again? You know, a lot of people know I talked about Dr. Stone and Fire Force, and I'm still planning on doing probably another catch-up video or two of Dr. Stone, just kind of talking about the anime. But Fire Force in particular, I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably going to be dropping it.
Oh my god, you're so brave for dropping this show. I'm glad I'm not subscribed to you to find out that I don't really care if you drop a show or not. I don't think anyone cares if you drop a show, but I'm sure you're going to tell me why, because it's in the title and the thumbnail of this video already.
I don't know for how long, when I will pick it back up, if I pick it back up, but there's a major thing while I'm watching Fire Force that is really just disrupting my viewing pleasure and honestly making it difficult and awkward to watch.
Don't tell me it's because of the, quote, copious amounts of fan service that a lot of fans have been finding out about because they're anime onlys and they don't read the manga. I mean, that's the reason that people have been dropping the show, or at least the ones that I see on Twitter that are spurking out about it.
Now, in case you haven't heard, about a month ago or a few weeks ago, there was a major fire with Kyoto Animation, 35 dead, 30 injured. It was arson. It was, you know, some guy that he was upset about claiming that they stole his works or whatever. But regardless of what, it was a very tragic and messed up situation.
Wait a minute. Is this going where I think it's gonna go?
And I was following it pretty closely, I'm not gonna lie, reading like all the updates and how they're doing fundraisers, and you know, it's very fresh.
What he is of course referring to is the Kyoto Animation fire that killed about 33 people and injured dozens more. And it was a sad day in the anime community. And unfortunately, some people lost their lives and it's a terrible event. But I feel like you're gonna use this somehow to justify what you're gonna say.
And unfortunately, with Fire Force, because of the nature of the show, you know, it's about firefighters, even though they're fantastical firefighters, like, you know, they got powers or whatever. It's about them, you know, putting out fires. And I started, because this happened in between episodes 2 and 3. So I watched episode 3 after they took, I want to say it was like a 1-week break out of respect for what happened with Kyoto Animation. They took a 1-week break, and I was like, okay, maybe, you know, I could watch it. I watched episode 3, and I ain't gonna lie, it was really difficult for me to watch.
I mean, to be fair, all of Fire Force is really hard for me to watch because I don't care to see it. That's all.
As I'm watching, it's like, don't get me wrong, the show itself is awesome. Maybe I could do without some of the fan service. It feels like fairy tale at times.
Many people carry the same sentiments that you do about fan service in anime, or at least where it kind of, you know, breaks the moment. But I guess I just kind of don't care about it that way because, you know, if it's a good story, then it is. But most of the favorite shows that people watch, like Full Metal Alchemist, have fan service in it too. And sometimes it does ruin the tension, but honestly, it kind of doesn't, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
But that's a side note. Like, it's a pretty awesome show. Characters is cool. But, like, episode 3 in particular, it's about a burning building and the firefighters going on a drill to save the people from the building.
So they were being heroes. Okay, I don't see a problem with that, I guess.
And for me, as I'm watching it, I'm like, this tragedy just happened not that long ago.
All right, bit of a rant here, but if you don't want to hear it, I suggest you just go ahead and skip ahead. I'm sure you'll see when it cuts over. But when is it okay to actually talk about these things? When is it okay to bring up something? And I hope that you know that Fire Force, these episodes were already made in advance, which is why they were ready for TV syndication. I'm sure you're aware of that. Production was already months ago. And so when they brought this episode up, they were like, okay, let's take a week. I don't know what their thought process is. I don't really care. But it's fine that they released an episode of a show that they already had planned. It followed the manga, and if people were going to be sticklers about it, there would have been 2 things happen. People would have said either they shied away from the entire issue altogether because of the Kyoto Animation fire, or people would have praised them for showing the real tough issues for people to watch. And that's what I don't understand about some of these people, is that they'll always say, this is too soon, we can't make jokes about it. And God forbid that someone does make a joke about it. Oh, well, then the world has to end. Everybody has to conform to this way of thinking. And I will give you this benefit. A lot of people did pass away during this, and it is a very tough thing, especially in post-war Japan, where this is just not seen. It's unheard of. It's very unreal. But the issue is that we still have to talk about these issues. And even if we're showing it in an anime, a product of Japan, and we're showing how people can be heroes, I don't see the issue with it. They don't have to sit through PSAs about the Sandy Hook promise, where they're talking about back to school essentials. We don't have to sit through did you know the signs, because those things exist and they're awful. And even if we wanted to go a step further and say that we can't make fun of any tragedy that happens whatsoever, then just look at the Porygon incident from The Simpsons, where they made fun of it almost an entire year later. What the hell is that? What is this clickbait?
So it feels really hard for me to watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried even, there's 5 episodes out again. I even watched episode 4, seeing like, okay, maybe I could get past it now. It's been a little bit. But even then, I still felt like, I don't know, it just feels awkward. It feels like, not wrong, but for me personally, it's hard for me to watch this because immediately I keep thinking about this horrible tragedy that just happened not that long ago.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Do you have PTSD from a Japanese cartoon? Is that what we're getting at here? You have PTSD because a cartoon showed you heroes saving people from a burning building, and you're relating that to real life because apparently you can't do those things. You can't, show something in a different way. You can't show it in a different capacity because any depiction of it is bad. Is that what I'm getting out of this? Don't take this out of context, but usually, and I use the word usually here, PTSD happens as a result of something that has actually happened to you. Things that are in your life that forces you to act a certain way. The way that I work now is where I have PTSD because I'm afraid that another lift gate will hit me right outside of my eye. I almost lost my eye because that almost happened. But fortunately for me, that didn't. That's what my PTSD it stems from. People have PTSD when they go to concerts because of what happened at the Las Vegas incident, where people were at that concert. Those people have PTSD. That actually happened to them. They got to see people get dismembered and die. That's what real PTSD is. Not because they read an article about a fire and said, oh, I can't watch this cartoon anymore. I gotta drop it for a while, guys. That's not what PTSD is. I mean, even look in your comments. They understand that this is a fictional show. They know that it's not in any way meant to be like real life. Get over yourself with this.
I mean, it's no bearing on the show at all. It's not Fire Force's fault that this happened, that this maniac decided to do this fucking horrendous and disgusting thing. But nevertheless, it's very, very fresh. And, I've seen people that I kind of know online and whatnot that they had colleagues that were killed in that fire and people in general. And just all around, it's really sad. So while I'm watching Fire Force, I'm constantly distracted because when there's fire going on or they got a rescue mission or any of that stuff, I'm just immediately like, wow. Like, I feel horrible.
Okay, asshole. Let's play a game called Can We Tell the Difference Between Reality and Fiction? Featuring NECRO 13. See, in this first picture, you can see that this shooting took place in Las Vegas. Those were real people that died. That is a tragic story. That is something that we can never forget about because it is so deep in our history now that this is what you get when you search it. This next thing that I'm going to show you is a video from Symphogear XV where 70,000 people, I believe, died in this fictional concert. This is tragic as well, but it is fiction. That's the biggest difference, is that reality is real. Fiction is made up. And if you have a certain type of way, feel free to be that way. No one can stop you from feeling the way that you feel except for yourself. But let's have some common sense here. If you have times where you can't watch a show because of something that is upsetting, when will you ever confront it? I'm not saying that you have to be big and strong for everybody and that you have to confront all of your issues, but you're talking about dropping a show. And you're making a video about dropping a show because it was hard for you to watch. These fictional characters save people. because of a fire that happened in Japan where 33 people died. I don't understand the logic. Maybe that's just a me thing, and I'm sure people will let me know how retarded I am. That's generally how it is. I'm going to make sure I retard up this video a little bit more so that way I can get that demonetization money. Because that's the joke, is that there's no demonetization money. But anyways, yeah, stop being retarded about it.
I feel horrible, and it makes me feel a certain way, and this is me personally. Now, if you having the same struggle and you're trying to watch Fire Force and you can't get that stuff out of your mind, I also will recommend you take a break from it, because it doesn't mean that I'm putting it down forever. In a month or two or a few weeks, whenever, if I feel like I'm ready and I could watch this without having those thoughts in my mind, then I might get back on it and maybe talk about it at that point. But as it stands right now, I gotta put down Fire Force for a bit, to be honest with you.
I think that you need to understand the philosophies of art. Seeing as anime is art on its own, because it is in the medium of art, I think that you should understand that art is meant to give you emotion. It's meant to make you feel something for fictional characters. If you see a character in, I don't know, what's a good show that you guys probably watch? Full Metal Alchemist. That's a good example. We'll talk about Full Metal Alchemist. When you're watching Full Metal Alchemist and you see Hughes, and you see that he has a family that loves him and he loves his family twice as much, and then he dies trying to serve and protect his country from the homunculus. That hit people in a certain type of way. And instead of people saying, oh, I got to turn this off, my cousin died just last week, I can't watch this and it's really tough. Like, I understand, but it's also, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make it a hard pill to swallow, because you just witnessed something terrible and you feel terrible. You feel awful for these fictional characters. Some things like that, if someone that you know passes away and you don't feel like you can continue to watch something, or you don't want to interact with something, then deal with it off of the internet. Don't deal with it on the internet. The internet is not for that. Now, if you have, people that you have to talk to across the internet, that's a different story. But what I'm saying is, if you're on social media saying things like, oh, well, guys, my brother just died and I can't watch Fire Force, and, I'm going to need some time away from this. Like, maybe just deal with that stuff first and then come back to the internet. And if you need to explain it, then that's fine. But when this video was published back in August, it had already been a month. So if you saw that and, they took a week off, then why are you making this video in August? That's an entire month away from when it happened.
To like other series, I'll probably continue talking about here and there, like Dr. Stone and all the other stuff, like Demon Slayer, whatever, I'll talk about those. But Fire Force is just so, it's too much of a reminder of a very, very serious tragedy. One of the biggest tragedies in Japanese history in recent times. Like, it's very bad. So for me, it's too hard for me to watch right now. It hits too close to the situation that we just witnessed.
You know that there are a lot more shootings that happen than there are fires, but yet we still watch action movies where people get shot. In fact, a good example of this is Rambo: Last Blood, that movie that no one knew came out, but it apparently came out. Critics hated it, but the audience seems to love it. It's its own thing. But if that really impacted us, why are we not boycotting Rambo? Oh, that's right, because it's fiction. I forgot.
A lot of people, innocent lives were taken. These people with bad enough animators work like slaves for like $900 a month, working 80-hour weeks and stuff like that. But then on top of that, getting their lives senselessly taken away because of some maniac. It's like, it's hard for me to watch Fire Force and not think about it. So for now, I'm going to be putting it down. I may come back to it in a month. I may come back to it in a few weeks. And when that time comes, awesome, cool. But if not, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to make a decision. And right now, I have to make this decision that it just is messing with me too much, trying to enjoy this show while it's a reminder, a grim reminder of something really horrible that just recently happened. So,
hey, did you remember the Zodiac Killer when, he was going all around San Francisco and he was killing all those people? Good thing those people never, watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or at least we don't have any memory of that, because, it got erased from history. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't.
Sorry for the people that were looking forward to more Fire Force videos, but for now, I gotta make this decision for myself. And again, if you are having trouble watching this, or in general, you're going through anything because of this, try your best to worry about yourself and how you feel about this. And if you need to put this show down, or you need to talk to somebody, or whatever it is, please do so, because I don't know. I didn't really plan this video out other than to tell you guys, like, for the people that have been hitting me up, where's the Fire Force videos, it's a bit too much.
Hey, you remember when Frieza decimated an entire planet of Saiyans, and then he went after the other Saiyans, and then he decimated an entire planet known as Namek? Yeah, I kind of keep forgetting that those things happened. Good thing mass genocide never happened in our history. Oh, wait. It did.
Yeah. I guess that's all I have for this one. Try your best to have an awesome day. And again, RIP to the people that were lost, and my condolences to the families that were left behind. It's just a shitty situation, and I'm sorry for people that wanted more Fire Force videos. Who knows, maybe I'll come back to it eventually, but as it stands right now, I need to take a break from talking about this series. Have an awesome one.
I'm just gonna leave these comments here, and you can go to the actual video if you want to see more of them, because there's a long line of them, and most of them disagree with you. It's almost like these people can tell the difference between reality and fiction. It's almost like you weren't there. And, I mean, to be fair, you are right and valid to feel however you feel about it. But don't pretend like because you watch anime that you were the one that burned in that fire. Maybe that's just a me thing. It is probably a me thing. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's a me thing that I don't take into account real life tragedies and apply them to fictional things when they are two separate things. They're a different thing. That being said, though, anime can choose to inspire people. It can make them better storytellers. It could motivate them to make their own stories with their own characters. But this whole thing with the fire and it's weird. It's weird, dude. I'm just gonna be real with you. It's really weird. I'm gonna be real with you. Is that how you say it? Be real with you. Yeah, it's weird. Stop taking anime so seriously.